Hey folks, this is Joseph Rampol at AWE TV, and I'm here with one of our big keynotes, Tim Chang, who just did an awesome keynote talking about technology. Tim, what was your message today?
Um, the big point was that we're in a really exciting age where augmenting everything, sensors, data, cloud connectivity to every possible thing, everything we wear, everything we eat, everything that's around us, inside us. But there's one big question I wonder a lot about: why are we augmenting these things? To what purpose? Do they make us more human? Do they make us understand ourselves and each other better? Do they make us better than humans someday? So.
Awesome. Now, I've seen some reports that say that you're one of the 12th or one of the top 12 influential investors in technology. How do you keep up with it, and what are some of the trends you're seeing after coming here to AWE this year that you're really paying attention to?
Um, It's actually really the entrepreneurs that do all the heavy lifting. It's they're the ones that are innovating everything. I'm just fortunate enough to have the vantage point that I can see, thousands of companies a year and what they're working on. And when you see that many data points, you start to see patterns emerge in terms of what the collective, entrepreneur efforts are moving towards. You can see almost on a crowdsourced manner what the trends are emerging themselves and what's piquing people's curiosities, whether it's wearables over the last few years, or it might be, something like ingestibles in the next couple of years, or, robotic drones or things like that. But it really is the entrepreneurs that are the pioneers at the fringes exploring everything, just like here at this expo.
Absolutely. We saw some recent trends about the different sensors that are being deployed and how they're interacting with smartphones and stuff. What is the change that you're seeing with eyewear that kind of seems to jump out this year compared to some previous years as augmented reality turns into an augmented world?
Well, I think the form factors and the cost points and the processing power is finally getting to the point that they don't look like these giant clunky helmets or things that you can't wear out on the street now. And occasionally people still get punched in the face for wearing Google Glass when inappropriate, but soon enough they will be sleek enough that they won't look that much different from a pair of Oakley sunglasses, or that they won't be too much out of the cultural norm to be wearing all the time. With that, then you think about the power of having all the data that you would from a web browser or smartphone in your eyes all the time, and it opens up a lot of possibilities. The first one, of course, is just adding this sort of like data layer over just your regular view. Imagine everyone you're walking around, you have almost the equivalent of a digital name tag above them. You could instantly see, do you have friends in common? Do you have interests in common? Those sorts of things. That's just a simple application, but it's sort of like having a dashboard for everything around you, your reality.
Absolutely, and I think like one of the kind of common themes I've been hearing, at least at this conference this year, is that people are talking about how much of our world do we want to augment. If we have so much in our field of view, it becomes an overload. So kind of where's that sweet spot that kind of we can tune into whatever layer we want to tune into, but at the same time we're not going to overwhelm ourselves.
That's a great question. That's kind of the heart of my talk, is that let's assume everything gets augmented, everything is possible. At that point, then the only question is, why are you doing anything, and what do you focus on? Assume all the world's knowledge, information, people at your fingertips and in front of your eyes, then it's all a matter of what do you focus on, right? And that's the thing I think we need to think a little bit more about. But ultimately, my hope is that all this stuff, this augmented, the wearable, the connectivity, really it's just helping each of us understand ourselves better, and what makes ourselves tick, and then eventually what makes each other tick. So it's sort of like almost like technology is a tool for greater empathy and greater connection between people, as opposed to we're all you ever notice you go to a concert and people are looking at the concert through their phone, or you go to certain events and people just are staring at their phone all the time and you actually feel disconnected. I'm hoping it actually leads us to more connectivity with each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the other interesting concept is that, with all of these new devices and there's just so much data that we're all kind of emitting, it's almost like data leakage. We can actually learn a lot from that. And I think the exciting time, and you know this better than anybody else, but we can actually start using this type of technology to kind of predict what we want,
Yeah.
kind of even before we want it.
Yeah, exactly. Like one thing I was mentioning in the keynote is if you had a really basic semantic engine analyzing every email, every text message, every Facebook or social media update you've ever done, you'd probably have a good sense of like the way you talk, the top 100 phrases you use all the time, your general tone of voice, who you're close to. If you were to codify that in a database, it's almost like a digital representation of your soul. Not to get too abstract, but like you're saying, if you can have this data exhaust captured 24/7 around your whole life, that's basically your life captured digitally. And you kind of think of, for your kids or grandkids down the road, they wouldn't just have a photo of, Uncle Bob or Uncle John. They would know the exact data exhaust of, that person. It's almost like being there with them or knowing, their life at any given time.
I like that term, data exhaust. That's really cool. Now, let me ask you this. You mentioned earlier in your keynote that your father, I guess, was the first person to buy you a computer. And what kind of computer was it?
It was the first Apple II. Yeah.
Okay, and I think you had asked him something about, what games come with it, and what did he say to you?
Oh, he said, it's 1980. There are no game companies. Go program your own. So that was kind of cool because it instilled this sort of like maker mentality that if you want it, just go make it. Go figure it out.
Absolutely. Great. Well, listen, what are some ways that people can follow you and learn more about you?
Sure. My Twitter handle is Time Change. My name with ease, kind of a typo, but and then on the Mayfield website, our contact info is also there, mayfield.com.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Thanks for the wonderful keynote, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
Okay.